What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, Panthers Advice. Today, man, we're going to break some news on something we're doing this weekend. We're going to talk about the DB and safety and why we might need to draft a safety and a cornerback and a receiver who's returning and what that means for Bryce Young in the offense, man. Let's get into the video. So first up, the mock draft is coming this weekend. I'm still working on that as we speak. Now, the mock draft is only going to be 5 rounds because we're going to go pretty in-depth on the first few rounds. We're going to do a few more mock drafts before it happens, I think, a month from now. All right, so we're going to do 5 rounds this weekend, and we're going to go pretty in-depth, right? So round 1, this is who we're looking at. Round 2, round 3, so on and so forth. And I got to say, there's one player who I think is going to go to at least the 3rd or 4th round who has really caught my eye. He is on the D-line, but there is one player on the D-line who I'm like, this is who I want the Panthers to get. All right, so stay tuned for that. That'll come this weekend, but there is one player that I like a lot watching the film, man. Let's talk about the rest of the video. Next up on the video is this guy right here. David Moore is coming back to Carolina. Now, if you look at his numbers right here, nothing crazy. 55 targets, 30 catches, 3 touchdowns, 4 drops, 350 receiving yards. So you're like, okay, David Moore, is he worth getting excited for? The answer is you're not going to get excited for him, but we need depth. Because if you look right here, all right, if these are our 3 starting receivers, Coker, Leggett, Thielen, we need depth. And who do we have right here? We've got Dax Mine, who I don't think played last year. Dan Chisna got in super late, made a big 3rd down catch, if I remember right, and David Moore. All right, TJ Luther right here, and Tremaine. Again, guys that didn't play last year, if I'm not mistaken. So David Moore, you need for depth. Because Dan barely played. I don't think Dax played at all. So it's good to have somebody like that who knows the system. On top of that, David Moore, believe it or not, David Moore caught on late. Let's look at the film. First we're going to look at is against the Saints. And you need a guy like this. And what do I mean by that? A guy who's going to come up here, right? He's going to run the in route. He knows he's going to get cracked by the safety right here. All right? He knows it's 3rd and 5, as you see right here. He knows the second he runs this in route, bang. All right, especially against the Saints. Cover 2 look, coming across the middle, you're going to get popped, bang. Now, that's not a big hit, but trust me, some of these hits will start to add up. Then you got right here against the Chiefs, it's 3rd and 7. That's why I said a lot of his big catches came late. Big 3rd down play right there, man. On 3rd and 7, goes across the middle, brings it down. Right here against the Chiefs, once again, it's 3rd and 10. Take a look what happens right here. David Moore running another, this is not really an in, it's a deep in, right? More of a dig route. And look what happens right here. All right, Chiefs in a 2-high look. Moore, bang, he's coming in. Safety reads it. Pops Moore, and Moore still hangs on to it. So, yes, Moore struggled in the first half of the season, especially with the drops. But to me, it felt like as the season went on, he easily got better. Easily. These ins and out routes that he runs, woo. Chris, baby, Chris. And then right here against the Eagles, I know I paused it. Let me play it real quick so you guys can see. I love what he does against Mr. Darius Slay. Bryce Young feeds it over the top. Now, what is David Moore doing right here? Am I hyping him up? Am I hyping him up too much? I don't feel like I'm hyping him up that much. I feel like I'm giving him credit where it's deserved, right? And again, I'm the first one to say he struggled the first half of the season, but who didn't on the offense other than Chuba Hubbard? Once the QB play kind of got better, David Moore got better. So right here, you're going to see the Panthers are going to run a play action bang. They're going to bring Thielen in motion right here. All right, so now the Eagles are thinking, okay, it's going to be a run. Everybody is in the box at this point. So Slay's thinking, okay, it's going to be a run, bang. I'm going to try and control David Moore right under the pads, right? And David Moore does this little thing where he's act like he's going to block, and then bang, he's going to take off. Woo! It's that little step he does, a little high step. Take a look real quick, like he's in a marching band or something. Look at that right there. Bang, gets that release. Bryce Young sells it over the top. Again, David Moore isn't going to be your flashiest guy. And if you didn't catch it, all these plays were on 3rd downs, okay? Your quarterback needs that. Why is that? Because Adam Thielen and Coker are going to be picked up on 3rd down, right? Most likely man, if not playing over the top and underneath. You need somebody like David Moore until the Panthers get another receiver who Bryce Young can rely on, right? So Bryce Young's either going to look to Adam Thielen, bang to Moore, or he's going to look to Coker and then go to Moore right after that. Your thoughts on Moore? It could sway one way or the other, but the Panthers need him right now. All right, let's keep it going. Next part we're going to talk about is Cam Newton discussing Jaycee Horn's contract, and this is going to play into this weekend's video. Jaycee Horn, the safety cornerback money. Let's take a look at what he says.
Jaycee Horn in Carolina, highest paid.
I think my only concern, just like a lot of people, is like, where's his end of the year superlatives? Right? Congratulations to him for making his Pro Bowl. But that type of money right there is a perennial All-Pro. That's Revis Island type of numbers.
Yeah.
That's like, I lock shit down. And that's not to say that he cannot. Yeah. I think what Jaycee Horn is, his upside is through the roof.
Now, what did I take away from Cam right there? He's basically saying Jaycee Horn's at an 8, all right, but he has the potential to be a 12 out of 10. And if you look at the film, I can kind of see where Cam's coming from, but at the same time, it would be nice to have help from the safeties over the top, right? This was week 1 against the Saints. Everyone's like, oh, Jaycee Horn, he's washed, blah, 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 blah. You can see he's giving the receiver inside release, which basically means, hey, run inside. I've got safety help over the top, but if you try and bounce it back out, I'm picking that thing up. And take a look what happens. No safety help over the top. Why? Because the safety cheats down right there. So bang, week 1, the Saints did a number on the Panthers in the air. Week 2, Jaycee Horn got against Quentin Johnston right here. Nice little stutter, bang, gets the outside, and then beats Jaycee Horn over the top. This was the only time this happened. But when this happened, I'm not going to lie to you. I was like, oh, JC. Oh, that's not a good look. And then right here against the Raiders, all right, Panthers look to be in a cover 6. So you split it in half, bang. Split it in half again over here. So he's got this quarter. He's got this quarter over here. All right, he's got the whole half over here. Now take a look what the Raiders do right here. We're going to have a little post route right here. So the guy who had the quarter just on this half right here, all right, he's going to get sucked down here. So when he runs a post route over the top, because the safety right there cheated down, even though he did have responsibility because of that post route, but nonetheless, all right, take a look what happens. They're like, perfect. We'll bring him down right there. Bang, throw it over the top. And Xavier Woods is too slow. This one is definitely more complicated because if you go by the rules, okay, Xavier Woods was supposed to run in with that receiver running that first post. But Xavier Woods shouldn't have been that far back anyway. What I mean by that is I don't think Xavier Woods is a great free safety. Put him in the box, all right? And that's what the Titans are going to have to do if they want to win with him. That's why I think if the Panthers get a better free safety, that right there, man, I honestly believe if we have a better free safety right there, that ball's picked off. Because Xavier Woods does a great job switching off, but he's just too slow, right? So let's keep it going. All right, that play was a little bit more complicated right here against the Bengals. This is one where I'm like, damn. You can't tell Joe Burrow right away that you're going cover 2 like that. Because if he sees a too high look, let's run this back real quick. Take a look right here. If Joe Burrow sees a too high look right away, I mean, look at this. You got Woods and the safety down here. What, Fuller maybe? I mean, damn. Just give them the middle of the field, why don't you? All right, receiver beats Troy Hill one-on-one right there. And you got the safeties completely on the sidelines at this point. Nobody's in the mid. I mean, you see what I'm saying? Like, you're giving Joe Burrow that time, that look right there. No one's in the middle. I mean, this to me is just insane, guys. The Panthers need a safety bad. And I think that's actually Nick Scott, not Fuller right there, man. Right here against the Bears, let's take a look what happens right here, shall we? You're going to see the Bears on 3 by 1 set. Caleb looks to the left, comes back to the right, back to the left. I mean, honestly, he could have gone either one. This was kind of bad DB play, but again, right, get the safeties to bite. Bada bing, bada boom. I think we have 1 or 2 more plays left right here. Let's take a look at this one right here. This one's against the Broncos. All right, once again over the top. Once again, just over the top. All right, take a look what happens right here. This is an interesting coverage from Avera right here. Let's take a look at this one more time. That's right, because they're going to drop, I think, potentially Troy right there. So they're going to drop him right there. So now Josie's going to come out here. All right. Woods is going to go over the top. Horn is essentially going to play both of these and drop if he has to, I think. And then Trevin Wallace is forced to cover the tight end with no help over the top. I don't know what went wrong there. That seems odd to have no safety help over the top with the tight end right there on man coverage. Either that or, once again, let's take a look. They're expecting pressure. So we're going to blitz, 5 right there? And this is what I'm talking about, too, when I say there's a reason Jaycee Horn got sacks and nobody else did. All right? We got a guy coming off the edge right here. Take a look what happens. Bro, what kind of move is that? Just bulldoze the running back. Just push him into the quarterback. You see what I'm saying? The running back is just waiting on him at that point. Most DBs in the NFL are maybe over 200 pounds, maybe 210 at the most. Most of them are under 190, right? Give or take. Running backs a little bit different. Most running backs are at least a solid 180, right? Most running backs are built in the NFL. So if you're a DB and you're coming at the running back and you do this, you're losing all your momentum, all your speed, all your acceleration, right? You're doing this. Now you completely slow down. Like I said, the running backs in the NFL, they're built. So you did this, and they're coming up to him. All he has to do is put his hands out, and you're done. Right? That's what I want to see different. And it's not just the DB over here who did it. Happened all the time when the Panthers would send a nickel blitz. Right? Shove the running back into the quarterback, man. So I'm guessing this whole coverage design was based on potentially getting pressure. But when you do this, nothing's going to happen. Let's keep it going. One more play left, man. Let's take a look right here. This was against the Cowboys. All right, was this Cooper? Yeah, we went over this play. All right, so final thoughts, man. We need a safety bet, as you guys can see right there. We need more pressure, which we're going to talk about this weekend. David Moore, the Panthers need him. Whether you like him or not, the Panthers need him right now until Bryce Young finds another target. Yes, he has Thielen. Yes, he has Coker. But teams are going to pick up on them, so you have to find another guy. And then Jaycee Horn, man, to me, he's worth the money. But this weekend, mock draft, first one coming. Stay tuned for that. I'll catch you on the next one. Take it easy, Panthers. Vices out. Peace.